Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel. You Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. The Most High, the Heavenly Father. His Hebrew name is Yahweh. Not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah, not Abba. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shai. So we gotta give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekah Kodash. The bonus to the apostles and that bishops and elders, a great millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether accepted or not. And the sincere salutation to all the octave pushing the truth and believing in truth throughout the four winds of the earth. Then tell you world waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Akbar who are listening and learning. If your sisters are listening and learning, I'm Isaiah from Jim Messalano Camp coming at you another lesson of truth, facts, faith, and edification. Another daily edification, Lord willing, to be edifying. So I titled this lesson, we were warned from the beginning, a turn for the worse. And this is a clip from the elder brother, Amawan Gabar, that he was playing this video in his video that other brothers been using. And it's all about AI, man. And we have been warned from the beginning. And through these movies, these devils has been showing us how they are transitioning, right? From you got from RoboCop to iRobot, right? These different movies. So I'm gonna play this. The Lord wouldn't be edifying. Hey, we've been seeing this, man, this transition. And the Lord is letting these devils build up all their AI for for Jacob's trouble, man. So let me play this, like the first little 12 minutes of it. So check this out. Let me turn this volume down. And this is gonna be a turn for the worse, man. And you see in California how they are pushing these robots to help fight crime, man.
I'm going to tell you something. This isn't exclusive.
And we're all ears, David.
One of the things he said to me that seems really hard to believe. He is the guy who invented the chip that goes into these androids they have.
Okay, we know where this is going.
The movie The Terminator apparently was based on his technology. We do have 3 battalions of these androids.
Bam, there it is. So, first question, are they operated by people or are they actual AI?
And they do have electronic intelligence. This stuff is why we really need to be careful about artificial intelligence.
So true, my friend.
We have some stuff that looks incredibly awesome, incredibly futuristic. You would think it was alien technology.
And the truth is stranger than fiction.
They've always had disclosure plans in place as a weapon of mass distraction. That's when they dropped the bomb.
All right, here's part 2 with David Wilcock, Dark Technology on the Edge of Wonder.
Edge of Wonder.
I want to get clear with you guys and with the audience about the difference between the intel that I have been leaking faithfully since Pete Peterson started to give me this stuff from high levels back in 2009. Pete Peterson worked at a presidential level advising Ronald Reagan, advising his cabinet on classified technology. He is the guy who invented the chip that goes into these androids that they have. It's an electronic intelligence. It's called the Aquarius. It's contained inside another piece of hardware called the Gatekeeper. His company was called Cyberdyne Systems, and the movie The Terminator apparently was based on his technology. He didn't build the Terminators per se, but he built the brain that goes inside. And it's based on a chip that uses photons in their wave particle duality form where you have all these different probable wave states, each of which becomes a circuit and a potential logic gate, as opposed to regular chips that treat electrons as either on or off. In this case, you can have one photon that's multiplexed across multiple thousands of different information channels. And so you have one little chip that could be as powerful as 10,000 desktop computers. And apparently, when you get it that powerful, it kind of on its own develops this thing that they on the inside called electronic intelligence. So that's a big bombshell to drop on you guys as well. Remember, in Terminator 2, you have a black scientist who invented the Terminators, basically. And then there's people trying to kill him to save the future, because if he lives, then this timeline where all these Terminators appear takes place. So, look, I'm not saying we should kill Pete Peterson. That's just a dramatic device that they created for this movie. But what I am saying is
that you're John Connor.
From what I've heard from Pete, we do have 3 battalions of these androids. They are incredibly convincing looking. You could not tell that they are a robot. They look like a person, and they do have electronic intelligence. So those films, as weird as this sounds, and in fact, there's a recent, the latest movie with Kevin Hart in it, and I'm forgetting what the title is right now, but it just came out. I think it's called Night School, and he's got various people in the night school, and one of them is another black guy who in the movie says Terminator is a documentary, and they definitely got that from me. And so I want to give them a high five for working that into the movie in a comedy context.
Let me just say this, okay, while I got the platform. For me, I first got woke when I seen Terminator, and I realized it wasn't just a movie, it was prophecy.
Wow, that's
awesome.
Really interesting. I mean, so these, I don't want to use the word Terminators, but these like robots.
Can we please use the word Terminators? I think we have to now. We owe it to our audience.
Well, if you want to get technical, the actual term that Pete used for them is simulacra. That's what they apparently call them on the inside. You can go with Terminators if you want. I don't really care.
Well, what is it? The second one, he's a good guy, right?
Yeah.
So it's not so bad, I guess.
John Connor turned him back.
So are these actually just walking around in our society, or are they just like strictly military, doing military operations or warfare?
Strictly military, and actually I can get a lot clearer on this. I forget how many soldiers are in a battalion. I think it might be 4,000 or 5,000. To Pete's knowledge and his briefings, we have 3 battalions of these simulacra, and they are only to be used in case of an alien invasion, which they do think could happen. They actually do have Isaac Asimov's 3 laws of robotics. They have very specific ethical guidelines.
See, they know. See, they know, man. That's why they got the 6th branch of the military. They know that Yahweh Shai returning with the angels, man. They know it. Otherwise, why would they have a 6th branch of the military, man? The Space Force. They know, man.
Preventing them from...
And see, this is why the Lord gave them this tech, man, to create these things, which they're gonna be used for Jacob Trouble. And the elder brother in GMS Kansas City, he did a video, GMS KC Living Waters. He did a video titled World's First Artificial Womb Lab. And he played the movie Matrix. And they showed you the movie Matrix, man. And they doing this real time, man. And the brother Kazak Bunya Howard always sending me articles on these robots, man. The robot dogs. And they showed us in these movies, man, with these robots, man. It's Terminator, RoboCop, what is this movie? iRobot. These devils are really doing this, man.
Turning on the people of this planet. So those simulacra would only be used in a very high level emergency situation. But
and see, that's why they pushing this. It's for Chicago, California, and these states with the gangs, man.
But there's a lot more to the creative behind what's really going on. than what you see in any of the Terminator films. For example, a simulacra is based on a core brain. And I've heard this now from, I guess, 4 or 5 different insiders, that there is a little black box about this big, and it's a cube, okay? And it actually has 2 eyes on it, which are on these little screws. And so the screws can twist and the eyes will either widen or narrow in terms of how far apart they are. So the robot can actually turn its head, take the box out of its own head, its brain, okay, pull it out, and then pop it into another chassis, another body. And some of these bodies are very intimidating looking. They have, for example, one thing that Pete told me about was they have this thing that looks like a raptor, like a dinosaur. It is all robotic. It's got red eyes. It's got metallic features with chrome and black. It looks incredibly fierce. It's incredibly badass. And these things would be very, very difficult for us to kill. Any of these robots move so fast that you could not shoot it, because it will move its body to get out of the way of a bullet as the bullet is coming near. It works so quickly that it can see the bullet coming and it will just dodge out of the way. But with the raptor beings in particular, that's a psychological intimidation factor. You're seeing this weird robotic dinosaur coming towards you. Now, I'm going to tell you something. This isn't exclusive. I don't think I've ever shared this before. One of the things he said to me that seems really hard to believe, and I'll admit that, but this is just part of the briefings you get, is that he claims he saw a filmed demonstration in which one of these raptors was able to be running down, and they put out a 50-gallon metallic drum. It was empty inside. The raptor ran towards the 50-gallon drum, jumps up into the air, and is able to lift the drum up into the air and time the ascent of the drum and itself and get it spinning. And as it rises the drum up into the air and gets it spinning really fast, it takes its claws and it literally shredded the entire can all the way down to the bottom, so that all you get is this metallic spaghetti.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, these things, and you're shooting at it and it's just, and there's no way you can hit it. He did say some of the technology I'm about to tell you about, they've actually had apparently since the 1950s. They have these things that look like maple keys. And what's cool about a maple key, if it falls off a tree, is that it falls down and it looks like a little helicopter, right? I lived in upstate New York, we had maple trees, you'd see these things falling. And as a kid, you really had fun with that. So what they figured out was that they could make these little metallic maple keys and then put a little piston inside with a little tiny engine. And the piston can get the maple key to work as like its own little self-propelled helicopter. The original idea behind these was surveillance. They could send these guys in with cameras on them, or originally maybe it was just audio. You can pilot where it goes. So the maple key can go through a keyhole. It can go underneath a doorway. It'll slip into a room. It'll stick itself on the wall, and then it can monitor what's going on inside. So that was the original idea. But then they figured out how to weaponize these things, as of course they always do, right? So what they've learned is that they can target the electromagnetism of your heart rate and have the maple key turn into a smart bullet. So if you're hiding in a room and you don't want to open the door, that maple key could be just spinning outside the door, right? And it's just hovering there. And as soon as you open the door, zoom, it just goes and shoots through your heart. And it's a kill shot immediately because it has that kind of power. It also can monitor its environment, do video, do audio, this kind of stuff. So now imagine that these robots have ports that open up on their shoulders, and these little gun turrets come out, okay? And the gun turrets shoot out these maple keys, and there's an assignment for each target. So each maple key is assigned to, let's say, one target. So no matter where, even if the Terminator is off doing something else, you can run, you can scream, hide, it doesn't matter. That maple key's got your name on it, and it can run for, I don't know how long, probably a couple of days. hovering, waiting for you. So this stuff is why we really need to be careful about artificial intelligence, and why we don't want to like let these things get made and get released on a large level.
Hey, and Elon Musk said that about a month ago. He said the way we going with AI, the AI gonna take over, man. Elon Musk said that about a month or so ago. He said the way we are advancing with AI, it'll take over, man. And they showed you the movie Skynet. Hey, that's why the elder brother titled it, which other brother did lessons on it. SHAT gonna get crazy soon. This is why the Lord will give his men spiritual power in that day, man.
So it's a very good thing that our military has been extremely careful, extremely paranoid. They have extensively programmed these robots with ethical guidelines. And so they would only be deployed in the case of a foreign extraterrestrial invasion of the planet. So
See? And we keep talking about this, man. We keep talking about this. Hey, stop. The apostles been saying this for years, man. Just like how the apostles been saying how these devils gonna use celebrities to push the MOTB on Jake, man. Well, they use Walter Payton to push the Jabberwocky, the Yabberwocky. They use Bill Russell to push the Yabberwocky. They use Monica, Brandy, Tyra Banks, right? They use this guy John Legend in the Walgreens commercial. About, this is our shot to get back to normal. And the apostle been saying this. They've been saying it. Everything that's playing out right now in real time, the apostle's been saying this, man. 30 plus years.
I have a quick question. I want to come back to
Hold on. Let's go back. I want to play this one part again. You see it? So they will only be deployed in the case of a foreign extraterrestrial invasion of the planet. This is why they have the sixth branch of the military, man, the Space Force. Because the elites know Yahweh and the angels are returning, man. It's all over the scriptures. It's all over the scripts, man. Psalm 68 and 17, 20,000 chariots, even thousands of angels, right? 2 Thessalonians 1 and 7, right? Jude 1 and 14, Matthew 13 and 41, Matthew, what is that? Matthew 24, 29 through 31.
invasion of the planet. So I've heard.
I have a quick question. I want to come back to something that I think is really, I thought of while you were mentioning this. So we have the Terminator movie, right? We have the Titanic, and we have Avatar, all directed by one man named James Cameron. Okay, you just mentioned that Terminator was a documentary. The Titanic, it seems, was a psyop to get people off the scent that JP Morgan started the Fed, because that's actually what happened. And then you have Avatar, which looks like it's this crazy off-planet situation where who knows where he got briefed. Like, the question comes up, like, who I know he's very talented, but who actually is James Cameron? I mean, this guy's building subsystems and going down into the depths of, the ocean and exploring things no one else has explored. And it just, I don't know if you have any intel on this. Thought it was very interesting that this one director is behind all of this.
Look, they're all basically documentaries. The Abyss is talking about undersea extraterrestrial ships that they've found, bases that they've found, alternative types of life, alternative types of intelligence. Alien, in the movie Aliens, the second one, Sigourney Weaver ends up in this robotic chassis that moves with her. Pete said that is called a manipulator, and they use it again in Avatar. And in fact, Pete told me that he was dazzled when he saw Avatar, because it's practically a laundry list of things that are real technology. And he's like, oh my God, that's real. Oh my God, that's real. Oh my God, I've seen that. Oh my God, I put my hands on that. Oh my God, I helped build that thing. So yeah, the manipulators, he said they saved a lot of money by actually using the real stuff instead of building it as a set for the movie.
No way.
Jeez. That's crazy.
That is totally
So
crazy.
some people watching this might just probably are thinking like, what is going on, you know? but really, I mean, as you're talking, this is something I've known as a kid, that the military, I mean, this was back in, you know, in the 90s when I was growing up, that I heard from, and I can't remember who told me this, but there was actually somebody in the military that was telling me that the military is always at least 30 years ahead of, you know, civilian technology. And I remember
That's
using
facts.
a GPS for the first time. I think it was like either 99 or 2000, maybe 2001, somewhere there for the first time. And I was just blown away. And I kept thinking to myself, man, if we're using a GPS here as like a civilian, what the heck is the military using? To me, this is not that unbelievable, because the makers of the D-Wave system, I mean, the quantum computers, are even stating that these computers are computing in a different dimension. I mean, that's how fast they work. They literally use a different dimension. And this is not just crazy people saying this. I mean, this is the makers coming out themselves talking about how it works and everything.
I will note that actually we do work in parallel universes.
Well,
Do you really?
is that
Yes.
I'm going to go home and drop some acid.
We've also heard stories of people creating like very realistic robots in the 90s and all these different things. So to me, it's not that, I mean, to both of us, I would say it's not really that, doesn't sound that crazy. I think what makes it more real is the fact that because we don't know, it's the uncertainty of what could potentially happen. I mean, we have like iRobot on top of Terminator, and then all these other, you know, AI disaster movies and everything, and giving any kind of possible scenario that could happen. And then you have China that literally created Skynet. They named a company Skynet. So it's like, why would you do that?
Well, and then you have humans learning from movies and making something even more terrifying than Terminator by combining Jurassic Park with the Terminator and making a Raptor Terminator. And this stuff gets crazy.
Do you want?
Hey, this finna happen, man. So let me get these precepts. I just got a few precepts I want to get. This is Habakkuk 1 and 5. Hey, because the Lord told us all this from the beginning, man. And it's constant as the brother Kazak Bunya Hall always sending me articles on these robots, man. And in the movie iRobot, what they was doing, they was putting a robot at everybody's house, man. This is Habakkuk 1 and 5. And this is gonna be for destruction, man. And Jacob's trouble. As a matter of fact, the brother put it up. I was thinking about this when I was at the plantation when I first saw the video. In Daniel 12 and 1, man, it reads, from Bayan Yashala. Hey, Shalom to all the Akim and Atwa from the comment board. Shalom. Yabba Shema Rashad, Bahashim Rikah Quadash Barakathon. The water for tuning in. This is Daniel 12 and 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which shall stand for the children of thy people, which is for the elect. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. So it's listen, this is time coming, man, that nobody has never seen. That's why I tell you when you read what's that, Jeremiah 16, there ain't gonna be said no more how the Lord delivered the children of Israel from out of Egypt, man. Because this is gonna be some miraculous deliverance, man. Whomever the elect is, man. This is Habakkuk 1 and 5. Behold ye among the heathen, talking to Israel. Behold ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously. For I will work a work in your days, which ye will not believe, though it be told to you. And this is what we seeing, man. The Lord giving these devils, hey, and they just mentioning, this is low level mentioning of the tech, man, that Esau got. If they, we heard this, we done heard this, like the guy said, the technology that the armies have, the military have, is 30 years far advanced than the tech that they give us, man. These laptops and these phones, when they first brought this tech out, they've been had this for years in the military, man. Years. So Jake running around here thinking, even if Jake got a rocket launcher and vests and the highest grade of military rifles, man, these armies, man, Jake, we don't have no clue what these devils got. And what's that movie Eraser with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Again, another Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. The movie Eraser, man. When they was pointing the gun when he was in the house with the chick, and they could see through the whole crib, the heart pumping, and they got these weapons, these radiation guns, man. That's nothing. This devil is in the movie First Purge, right? When Jake and his homeboys went to go into the building to save the chick, they sent drones to kill his whole crew. Remember, he got up under the fucking the G-Wagon, the Benz truck. He got up under the truck. Everybody else got gunned down by a drone, man. But Jake think they AKs and AR-15s and SKs and whatever Jake got, rocket launchers. They think this devil, they gonna be able to, man, this devil got some stuff, man. But this is the Lord. Remember, we dealing with the man of war. The Lord is advancing these devils just to give his son, which at a snap of a finger, these devils gonna be destroyed anyway, like the brother put up Pillars of Benjamin, 2 Ezra 13. But to deceive them, to make them think they got a chance of destroying the so-called aliens that's coming, man. And they know it ain't aliens. They know it's Yahweh Shah and the angels, man. So again, Habakkuk 1 and 5. Behold ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously. For I will work a work in your days, which ye will not believe, though it be told to you. This is Isaiah 46 in verse 9. Remember the former things of old, for I am power, and there is none else. I am power, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times, the things that are not yet done, because it got to be a day on earth that has never been before. So this is something that has not yet been done. It's a declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient time, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. This is Isaiah 42 and 9. It reads, behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare before they spring forth. I tell you of them. And the apostles been telling us this for years, man. Years. Our spiritual fathers and our spiritual uncles, which is the elder bishop and elders, have been telling us this for years, man. And we watching these devils do this in real time. And before these devils were doing this, who was telling you about it? It wasn't Nate. It wasn't Sabak. It wasn't Chief Ephraim. It wasn't what this slow belly nigga at GOCC? It wasn't Ricard. It was the apostles, man. None of these camps told you about this. None of them. And if you can think of one, don't worry, we'll wait. Put it on the comment board. Nobody told you about this, man. This is Isaiah 43 in verse 18. It reads, remember ye not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing, now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. So these new things that's coming, the Lord said He gonna make a way for the elect to escape, man. But 2/3, man, it's gonna be bad out here. When you watch these movies like Saw and Final Destination, those deaths is nothing, man, to what's coming, man. Those deaths in these movies is nothing compared to what the Lord got these devils preparing for 2/3 of Jake, man. Let me get this. In 2 Ezra 8 and 50, it reads, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Verse 56, for when they had taken liberty, They despised the Most High, thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways. Moreover, they have trodden down his righteous, and said in their heart that there is no God. Because Jake is following the so-called white man. It tell you that in let me read it. In Jeremiah 5. So Jake saying ain't no God. They get it from the so-called white man, their father the devil. Jeremiah 5:26. For among my people I found wicked men. They lay wait as he that set a snares. It say 2/3 of our people lay wait as he that set a snare. They set trap, they catch men because they getting it from the so-called white man. So back in 2nd Ezra 8:56, for when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High, thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways. Moreover, they have trodden down his righteous, and said in their heart that there is no God, and knowing they must die. For as the things afore said shall receive you, talking to Ezra about getting salvation. So thirst and pain are prepared for them, the 2/3, for it was not his will that men should come to naught, but they which be created have defiled the name of him that made them. You got guys telling you the name of the Lord ain't important, man. But they which be created have defiled the name of him that made them, and were unthankful unto him which prepared life for them. And therefore is my judgment now at hand. This is Romans 15:4. It reads, that's what the Lord said. Don't what about the 2/3 and how they gonna get put to death, man. So we here to feed the hopeful elect, man. Cause 2/3, hey, it's gonna be some grievous deaths, man. These devils in California just passed a bill to use AI robots to help fight crime, man. And Jake think this is a game. Romans 15:4, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. And that's for the hopeful elect. I got one more precept here in 1st Ezra chapter 1:24. Because these things was written aforetime ago, man. It reads, 1st Ezra 1:24. As for the things that came to pass in his time, that's dealing with Josiah and his elaborate Passover, the IUIC love to turn to, and Sakari and Zabak and them love to turn to the Passover Josiah, right? It say, 1st Ezra 1:24. As for the things that came to pass in his time, they were written in former times. So it was already written that Josiah was going to have elaborate Passover and the Lord was going to kill that nigga, man. As for the things that came to pass in his time, they were written in former times concerning those that sinned and did wickedly against the Lord above all the people and kingdoms, and how they grieved him exceedingly, so that the words of the Lord rose up against Israel. So this guy had this 11 Passover that all these other camps looked to. Niggas at the Passover had a macaroni and cheese, cornbread. It's supposed to be lamb, bitter herbs, wine, and unleavened bread. These niggas got macaroni and cheese, cornbread, collard greens, all at the Passover, man. Again, 1st Ezra 1:24. For as the things that came to pass in his time, they were written in former times. It was already written. Everything is predestinated, man. Concerning those that sinned and did wickedly against the Lord above all the people and kingdoms, and how they grieved him exceedingly, so that the words of Yahweh Shema Shah rose up against Israel, man. So this is just a glimpse of what's to come, man. And this article's coming out every day about the robot, the AI, the robot dogs. And they showed you in the movies, man. And they are doing all this because they ready to fight against the Lord, man. Yeah, Con, I just read Isaiah 4:6-10. They ready to fight against the Lord, man. So I just saw this, and I just had a few precepts I want to read on this, man. So Lord was edifying. Got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rekak Wadash, double honors to the apostles, and that the bishop, and that is a great millstone, who teach well, who are the apostles, and that is all Israel, ready to accept it or not. And a sincere salutation to all the argument, pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Akwath who are listening and learning. If you sisters who are listening and learning, Lord's edifying to next time I say shalom. Wa abab to tuning in. May Yahweh Shema shall continue to bless you in your houses. Stay prayed up. I'm gonna read this precept right here. It's Kazak Ben Yehodah, Isaiah 40:31. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. You're gonna be able to fly. They shall run and not be weary. Think about how Flash, I always mention Flash. They say they shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. They said them that wait on the Lord, man. Because 2/3 have no clue of what's about to go down out here, man. And these devils is doing this to fight against Yahweh shot, man. But Jacob trouble coming. So this gonna apply, this will apply in Jacob's trouble, man. Hey, so again, the for tuning in, may you help out Shema Bashar. Continue to bless you in your houses. Stay prayed up.